Name the safety and health precautions to be observed and operating a dope room, including storage of materials. Dope room well lighted and ventilated, spark-proof motors, lights and switches. Dope and paint rooms should be isolated from the rest of the buildings by metal partitions and fireproof doors. Materials stored in fireproof containers. Dope area well lighted and ventilated, spark-proof motors, lights and switches, materials stored in fireproof containers. Dope and paint rooms should be isolated from the rest of the building by metal partitions and fireproof doors. What primer is used when maximum protection of the metal is desired? Epoxy. What type of tests can be performed to identify existing paint finishes? Apply a coat of engine oil or MEK to a small area. What causes blushing when applying dope or lacquer, and how can it be prevented? Doping under humid conditions, heating the room or using blush retarding thinner. What is the purpose of using fungicidal dope when finishing aircraft fabric? To prevent microbiological deterioration rotting of the fabric. What are the identification markings required for United States registered fixed-wing aircraft? Letter N, followed by registration number, on both sides of the fuselage or on both sides of the vertical stab. Character heights 12 inches, solid lines 1/6 as thick as they are high. Letter N followed by the registration number, on both sides of the fuselage or on both sides of the vertical stab. Character, height 12 inches, solid lines 1/6 as thick as they are high. What should the color of registration markings be? The color of markings should contrast their background. What are two types of dope used for aircraft finishes? Nitrate and butyrate. What is the advantage of butyrate over nitrate? Less flammable. What would happen if dope was ever used over paint or enamel? It would have the tendency to lift and remove such materials. What is applied to metallic surfaces as a common resistant covering before the application of enamel or lacquer? Zinc chromate primer. What can be done to the surface of components to prevent filiform corrosion? Verify primer is completely cured. What are the most common methods of applying aircraft finishes? Dipping, brushing, or spraying? What type of paint may be used over any paint system that is in good condition? Epoxy top coats. What normally causes runs and sags in a spray application of a paint finish? Holding the gun too long in one place, or holding the gun too close? What causes orange peel or pebble finish? Incorrect spray gun settings, incorrect air pressure, incorrect paint viscosity, holding the gun too far from the work. Incorrect spray gun settings. Incorrect air pressure. Incorrect paint viscosity. Holding the gun too far from the work. What causes fisheyes in paint? Surface contamination. What is used to thin chromate primer? Toluene. What type of materials should be thoroughly protected when using paint remover? Synthetic rubber surfaces, aircraft tires, fabrics, and acrylics. What is zinc chromate used for? Primer for bare metal. What does paint blushing look like? Dull and hazy surface finish. What is the principal cause of filiform corrosion? Uncured primer. What causes paint dust? Poor surface prep and overspray. What types of paint are generally used on aircraft? Epoxy and enamel.